Hi guys, welcome to this session. We're going to be finishing off this urban sketch that we've been working on in pencil today. So we've got a large part of the central sort of section that we want to be detailed in place. The only thing really left to do is give a little bit more elaboration, or elaborate a bit more the remaining windows, little bits and pieces of those that we see. And then also just we want to put this tree bough over the top, because it's a nice sort of addition and adds a bit of kind of visual interest to the top of the piece. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with how everything's looking. So we're going to get those these windows in to start with. So I'm going to hop straight into that. And as soon as the windows are loosely sketched in, and I don't want to do them in as much detail as those sections that we've been working on the previous weeks. So hopefully you guys have watched those videos as well. If not, you can find them in the same playlist as this one. Yeah, so we're not going to go into as much detail, but you just want to elaborate them slightly. Really not too much more than that, that's what we're going for on that side. I've noticed there's not quite enough shadow underneath this, so we're also going to be kind of going through correcting anything that seems to be a bit off or missing and so forth. I'll be doing a little bit more of this, sort of going through and re-accenting, re-darkening sections that need to go a bit darker. But yeah, that's it for those windows. So just going to do a little bit again. It's not quite in the central kind of focal point, so when we're sketching in these details, don't need to be quite as fussy. Can keep them a bit looser. You actually want to keep them a bit looser just because it creates a bit more visual interest. Otherwise we end up with something that feels a lot more static. Too bad. So I've got the shadows dropping underneath. Same for this one, same sort of approach. So we want that railing in first. Slightly lower perspective there, so we see a little bit more of the bottom of that left hand side, and we do this right hand side. You've got that shadow that it's casting below it. yeah, so I think that's pretty good in terms of the those extra windows. So yeah, the final thing we want to do is just kind of map out this this tree trunk. I've left it until last. It's not too big a deal that we're going to be laying it over the top of the other darker tones because it's pretty much the darkest thing. And so I'm not going to necessarily fuss about it being, you know, completely accurate. I'm going to be focused more on just the feel of it. So I'm just focusing on the main branch initially. And then start looking for these smaller branches that come off it. I'm not going to shade it until I've got a few more of these sections built into it. So yeah, it's not too bad in terms of the amount of that tree trunk that we've got in. So I'm going to go through now, give it some form. So I'm just going to initially just shade it in with a pretty dark tone all the way along its length. And then we're going to round it off a little bit. Once we've done that, we can then lay in our darkest notes, erase any lights, anything that's gone, say, too light or smudgy. We can just be a bit more contrasty with. It can be a bit looser with the tree as well, just because it's more of an organic form, rather than being as geometric as the rest of the subject matter, sort of man-made. Yes, that's not too bad for that tree being blocked in initially. I just want to put the very bottom of it to make it feel like the light is hitting it from the top. I want to make sure all the way along the length the branch is a bit darker on the bottom. That's going to make it feel more like it's sort of rolling down. Yeah, so you can see that helps kind of make it feel a bit more like it's popped out. And we've got a little bit of a suggestion of a shadow cast by it softly. Which is nice, kind of helps it feel a bit more like it's projecting forward. And so, yeah, I'm fairly happy, I think, with that level of detail. Yeah, pretty happy with that now. So the final thing I want to do is just go through, work my way across the piece, clean up anything that needs to be erased. So up here it's a bit smudgy. Just want to lighten where it's gone too dark off. Oh, sorry, gone too light. I want to darken. Oh, sorry. Yeah, erasing that, and then now I'm going in. I'm just kind of like re-accenting anything I want to kind of pop out and be a bit darker. Particularly down this lower section, as I did that earlier, it's been a bit more sort of affected by being smudgier. Just want to make sure all of that's as dark as I want it to be. All these sections. Sometimes that I don't really mind that smudginess because it means you can sort of soften tones off, and then it's not too hard to kind of go back in and just, as I say, punch the sharper sections, darker sections out. yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for this one. This is a good level to get up to, so if you're following the same reference, this is the sort of level of detail you want to get up to in this sketch if you're working from your own. You know, try to make it equivalent. It's not quite as straightforward as if you're following me, but you should get the idea of how it should look, how you want it to look. But yeah, that's it for this this project, or this session and this project. As always, you can subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with any new videos. We'll have more coming soon. And you can also click the link through if you want to see what sorts of paid qualifications we offer as well. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.